Well, Liz stepped on a crunchy little cockroach when we were in Sierra Leone, Africa. This was on the same road trip that we took to Guinea, and we were staying the night at this nice little complex. They had individual rooms in these little huts, which was very nice, but no running water whatsoever. But hey, that's okay. I'm used to backpacking and camping, but Liz is not. And this impressed me so much about Liz. So I grew up doing a lot of mission work and backpacking, basically getting out of your comfort zone. I was used to dirt or used to bathing in an ice cold stream. You know what I mean? But Liz, I can't really say the same for her. She had never actually been on a mission trip before. Yeah, it was before Africa. Talk about baptism by fire. Hey, honey, do you want to go tell people about Jesus? How about Africa for 5 months? If you were my wife, what would you say? You'd probably be like, oh, heck no. And initially her reaction was that, but she is so awesome. She really is just the greatest. So this cockroach, crunchy cockroaches, big ones too, not just like the itty bitty little cute guys. I never thought I'd be calling a cockroach cute. Oh wait, just a moment. I need to look at the mountain. This is my favorite spot. Wow, I love mountains. It got really cold last night, even though it's late March-ish, roughly. There's a lot of snow in the mountains. I love snow. But anyway, back to hot, sticky, humid Africa. Well, we had, finished our bucket shower for the evening and really, really cold water. And there we were, and all snuggled in the bed and everything. And we had our mosquito net on, which, by the way, mosquito nets, greatest invention, yeah, probably ever. So there we were, just napping. And Liz, of course, she's a woman, so she had to get up in the middle of the night and go pee. So she got up, and as she was walking towards the bathroom, it was dark, of course, and she stepped on something, and and it crunched. And so she went, ah! And she kept walking towards the bathroom, and so she did her business in there, and then on her way back, she quickly scampered into bed, and she didn't want to think about it. Well, the next morning, she kind of elbowed me and said, Beau, I think I stepped on a cockroach last night. And I went, ah! And she looked over the edge of the bed, and there was this big, fat, little squished guy. Oh, wow, he was big. He was like the size of a ding-dong, and his little legs were sticking straight up. You know, of course, me being the man that I am, I went into the bathroom, got some toilet paper, and folded it up nicely, and threw it on top of the cockroach, and bent down and to pick up the cockroach using this this barrier, this piece of Kleenex. The cockroach was not dead. So as I put my fingertips on this big, fat, ugly monster, it went, and his little legs just kicked. Of course, my reaction was just as manly as before, and it was a high-pitched falsetto squeal, and I ran and I jumped on top of the bed, and I stood there for the next 3 hours. Oh, wow, that was just disgusting. Ugh. Lots of life in the jungle. Wow, lots of life. But Liz, she's a wonderful, wonderful spouse. I love her dearly, and she's very patient with me despite my eccentricities and my passion for going out and sharing the gospel. And this started back when we were first going out. And so I had this vision, as I've explained before, about God telling me to be a missionary. Very, very vivid vision. So cool when God talks to you. It's weird. You're just like, this isn't normal. This isn't supposed to be happening. I'm dreaming. I'm making this up. But then it's confirmed over and over and over again. And you're like, okay, that was pretty clear. And so I wanted to be very upfront with Liz about this passion that I had to be a missionary. And I'll never forget, there at Whitworth College, we met in the cafe, and we were sitting there, and I said, Liz, I really, really like you. And by the way, I can't believe that I gave her this ultimatum. but I did. I didn't want her to be disappointed. And that's what I told her. I said, I really like you. I don't know how far this will go, but it certainly, we're still cruising along pretty great here. But I need to tell you that someday I'm going to be a missionary. Like, I'm going to go, I don't know where. I wish God told me where, but I don't know where, and it's going to be a tough life. So I hesitate to ask if you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend here because of that future calling I have. And it was really painful telling her this. It wasn't like me tooting my own horn saying, oh, look at how heroic I am. I'm going to go off to war. And are you prepared to stay at home with our children? It was none of that. It was really, honestly, look, I don't know if your heart is in the same spot as mine is. And I'll never forget, she smiled and said, that's okay. I'm aligned with that. Like, whoa! And wow, my heart was just so light after that. I was just blown away that, boy, everything about her was just perfect. Okay, not perfect, but the things that mattered were perfect. There you go. The rest of the things we can deal with in grace. Imagine that, grace. So consequently, she went with me to Sierra Leone, and there, as we were sitting on the dock, we had a very serious conversation, and I remember the sun going down. The sunsets in West Africa are epic. It makes your jaw just drop down to your shoelaces. They're just so vivid and bright. We were sitting there on the dock, and Liz, in case you don't know her very well, she's really smart. Very smart. Like, both like street smart and academically smart. And if she wanted to, she could be a doctor or a surgeon and do very, very well at that. I could not do that. I would lose it with all the studying that you'd have to do. But she was considering being a PA, that's a physician's assistant, which is still very good pay, and it requires extensive schooling to get to that position, to be a physician. Ooh, position of physician. And so she said, Beau, I'd really like to go back to school when we go home. And I said, okay. I was thinking of having a baby. And she was like, wait, what? You can't have a baby? You're a man. No. You have a baby. You do all the hard work. Oh, okay. So we had this very, very serious conversation about, our future. And how do you deal with something where you have a passion for one area, that is having a baby and kids, but you also have passion for another area, that is pursuing your career and academics. And I did not want to take that away from Liz because she is so gifted in that. Oh boy. So what do you do when you're in a tough situation like that? And this is when I feel awful for people who don't know Jesus. Not meaning to preach at you here, but that's what we did. We gave it to God, and we said, God, we're going to pursue this academic thing to see if Liz can get into med school, but if she does not, we will go and have a baby, or at least try to. So the point of that is that ultimately you're deferring to God. You're just giving it up. And once we did that, there was no worry. Well, there was, we thought about it, of course, but it didn't like just consume us. And that's the cool thing about giving something to someone who is a lot more powerful than you. It's not just a mind game where you're just like, I choose to give it to someone who's bigger than me. No, we literally gave these issues to the God of the universe. That's pretty cool when he's looking after you. And so we came back. Liz pursued it. That is the PA program. She got really, really far. She got to like the last most set of interviews, which is really hard to get to. And for some reason, she didn't get in. And by all means, if you look at her qualifications objectively, she should have got in. It was really weird. And she'd like talk with other people she knew who got into the program, and she's just like, wow, I had that same experience, but more. And they weren't very good with the questions. They were really awkward and uncomfortable. And what's going on here? It was a God thing. He was saying, look, now is not the time. And so, isn't that cool when you can rely on God to just make things work? But the point of this is still act, still do something. And yes, I still fail at this. I'm not perfect at this. But faith is not an excuse for laziness. That is one of my mantras in my life. Faith is not an excuse for laziness. So often you see people and they say, well, you know, God's working, and they're sitting there on the couch not doing anything. And you're just like, wait, don't you want to pursue some passions here and some skills that you're really good at? Well, God's working. Yeah, he's working when you're working. Do your best and he will take care of the rest. By the way, that's not biblical. That's from a Keith Green song. Do your best and God will take care of the rest. But still, the point remains the same. And so that is, if ever you're unsure about something, and even if you are sure of something, regardless, give it to God and he will take care of it. And don't sit there on your warm little bum saying, nah. Fate will have its way. I mean, that's what Disney has told us after all.